Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. My name is Liaquat Zaman. This is my channel, YouTube channel, Roots of Knowledge. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time. If you guys are not familiar with my work, please check out the videos, hit the like, subscribe button if you like it. And if you want dedicated courses, then I've actually got a website called uruk.com. Details are in the description below. This series, guys, is dedicated to helping you guys understand and learn Arabic poetry. At the moment, we're going through the poetry of the famous Imam Shafi, rahimahullah. We're almost near the end of this wonderful series. And I know it's a bit sad, but inshallah, we will be starting next after this, the poems of Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. If there are any poems of Imam Shafi that I have not covered in this series and you guys want me to cover them, please send an email to me or comment in the bottom, and inshallah I'll try to cover that as well. So the poem I've chosen for today is a little bit of a long poem, but it's a very nice poem. He says, وَعَيْنُ الرِّضَى عَنْ كُلِّ عَيْبٍ كَلِيلَةٌ وَلَكِنَّ عَيْنَ السُّخْطِ تُبْدِي الْمَسَاوِيَ وَلَسْتُ بِحَيَّابٍ لِمَنْ لَا يَهَابُنِي وَلَسْتُ أَرَى لِلْمَرْءِ مَا لَا يَرَى لِيَ فَإِنْ تَدْنُ مِنِّي تَدْنُ مِنْكَ مَوَدَّتِي وَإِنْ تَنْعَ عَنِّي تَلْقَنِي عَنْكَ نَائِيَةً كلانا غني عن أخيه حياته ونحن إذ متنا أشد تغانية. He says وعين الرضا عن كل عيب قليل كليلة, not قليلة. He says the eye of pleasure. So rida is from the word radiya yarda, which means to be pleased with something or content, and the eye is talking about the eye. He says عين الرضا عن كل عيب كليلة. In other words, the eye of happiness. In other words, if you are happy with something or someone, you say you have an ainul rida for them. You look at them in a very nice way. You know, like sometimes if you're in love with someone and then you look at them in a very nice way. So he says, ainul rida, the eye of pleasure. An kulli aibin kalilatun, from all faults. Aib is a fault, a defect. Kalilatun. Kalilatun means weak. Yeah, so kalil. Kalla means something which is like isn't able to hold, to bear. So he says وَعَيْنُ الرِّضَى عَنْ كُلِّ عَيْبٍ كَلِيلَةٌ. Yeah, so the eye of pleasure, when someone loves something, when someone loves someone, then they can't see the faults inside of them. عَيْنُ الرِّضَى عَنْ كُلِّ عَيْبٍ. So originally this sentence would have been like this: وَعَيْنُ الرِّضَى كَلِيلَةٌ عَنْ كُلِّ عَيْبٍ. The eye of pleasure, when someone is in love with someone, when someone likes someone and, you know, has a very high like status in their eyes, you say this person has ainul rida. That ainul rida is kalilatun, is weak, and kulli aibin, from every single fault. Right? It isn't able to bear seeing the faults, meaning, you know, just like you might have a mother who loves her children so much, she can't see the faults in her children. Right? Other people might be able to see the faults, but the mother cannot see because that love is overshadowing, is overpowering over all sorts of things. وَلَكِنَّ عَيْنَ السُّخْطِ تُبْدِي الْمَسَاوِيَ. However, لكن عين السخط. Sukht is the opposite of rida. In other words, displeasure. So عين الرضا, the eye of happiness, and then you have the opposite of that, which is the eye of displeasure. So in other words, when you dislike someone, you say this person has an eye of displeasure. عين السخط تبدي أبدى يبدي إبداء. It exposes, it brings up, it shows, it surfaces. المساوية. مساوية is a jama of su or so'a. Masawi. So in other words, when someone hates someone, then they can spot all sorts of faults. Yeah, it just automatically starts to surface and bring up all the faults. So it's like a nice kind of like contrast Imam Shafi rahimahullah is doing. That when a person is in love with someone, infatuated with them, their love makes them blind to all the faults that person has. And when a person hates someone, that person will bring out all their faults. And this kind of reminds me of once, you know, someone said this to me, that on social media, he says, if you put a comment up, he says, your enemies will quickly find faults in what you just said. Even if there aren't really any faults there, they'll quickly post a response for that. But those people who love you will overlook those faults and, have a husnul dhan, give you the benefit of the doubt. And if you have experienced this in your life as well, put in the comments as well, where you kind of have seen where someone who has love for you has overlooked all your mistakes, and whereas someone who despises or has some sort of grudge against you, they kind of, make it their mission to find faults inside of your life. And if any of these words you can find in the Quran as well, like for example the word sukht, tubdi, aib, rida, then put it in the comments below. وَلَسْتُ بِحَيَّابٍ لِمَنْ لَا يَهَابُنِي. Hayyab. Hayyab is mubalagha, from the word hayba, which means to have like awe of someone, fear of someone. لَسْتُ بِحَيَّابٍ. I am not awestruck. I am not someone who's filled with awe. Liman, for that person, la yahabuni. Haba yahabu, who doesn't fear me. So in other words, the person who doesn't have awe for me, I do not have awe for them. Right? So it's like it's a two-way system here. You have awe for me, you have respect for me, I have respect for you. وَلَسْتُ بِهَيَّابٍ لِمَنْ لَا يَهَابُنِي. Again, if you can find this word in the Quran as well, hayba, haba, then put in the comments below as well. وَلَسْتُ أَرَى لِلْمَرْءِ مَا لَا يَرَى لِيَ. لَسْتُ, I do not see, أَرَى, لِلْمَرْءِ, for the person, مَا لَا, that which he يَرَى لِيَ, does not see, liya. Now liya originally was li, and just for the poem purpose, it's add an alif at the end, just like at the top where you have al-masawiya, the alif has been added for the poem to end in the same note. So lastu ara, and I do not see for a person that which he does not see for me. Meaning, if a person does not see anything good for me, I don't have the time for him, and I don't see anything good for him. Right? So it's like, I'm going to treat you how you treat me. فَإِن تَدْنُ مِنِّي دَنَا يَدْنُ, to become close. If you come close to me, دَنَا يَدْنُ, if you come close to me. تَدْنُ مِنْكَ مَوَدَّتِي. So here, تَدْنُ, this is feminine. Mawadda is love. My love will come close to you. فَإِن تَدْنُ مِنِّي, if you come close to me, تَدْنُ مِنْكَ مَوَدَّتِي, my mawadda, my love, will come close to you. Right? So in other words, the opposite. You like me, you try to befriend me, I'm going to try to befriend you. وَإِن تَنْأَ عَنِّي نَأَ يَنْأَ. It means to distance oneself, make oneself remote, far away from another person. إِن تَنْأَ عَنِّي, if you distance yourself from me, إِن تَنْأَ عَنِّي تَلْقَنِي عَنْكَ نَائِيَةً. تَلْقَ, لَقِيَ يَلْقَ, to meet. You will meet me عَنْكَ نَائِيَةً, far away from me. Yeah, so نَأَ يَنْأَ, this is also in the Quran as well. If you know where this is as well, then you know what to do, put in the comments. I'm asking you a lot of questions today. إِن تَنْأَ عَنِّي, if you distance yourself from me, تَلْقَنِي, you will find me, عَنْكَ نَائِيَةً, far away. So you'll find me far away from you. كِلَانَا غَنِيٌّ عَنْ أَخِيهِ حَيَاتَهُ. كِلَانَا غَنِيٌّ. غَنِيٌّ. كِلَانَا, both of us are غَنِي. غَنِي means someone who is independent, rich, does not need anyone else. كِلَانَا, both of us are غَنِي. This word also you probably come across before, like in the Quran as well. And for Uthman al-Ghani as well. So Uthman al-Ghani was known as Uthman the Rich because Allah had bestowed upon him lots of wealth, and he was using this wealth for the purpose of the khidmah of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So كِلَانَا غَنِيٌّ عَنْ أَخِيهِ حَيَاتَهُ. So both of us are ghani, both of us are independent. I am independent of you, meaning I do not need you and you do not need me. Simple as that. You are ghani from me, ghaniyun anni wa ana ghaniyun ank. So ghaniyun an akhihi, hayatahu, his whole life. So here hayatahu means his life, and we understand from this it means for his entire life. You do not need me to wake up in the morning. I do not need you to wake up in the morning. You do not need me to put food on your table. I do not need you to put food on my table. Right? We are both living separate lives. So كِلَانَا غَنِيٌّ عَنْ أَخِيهِ حَيَاتَهُ وَنَحْنُ إِذْ مِتْنَا أَشَدُّ تَغَانِيَ. And when we die, so in this life, we do not need each other. And in the hereafter, وَنَحْنُ إِذْ مِتْنَا And we, when we die, mitna mata yamutu, ashaddu taghaniya, more intense independency. In other words, taghani is from the word ghina, from the bab tafa'ul, which means mutually being independent of one another, having no contingency or no need for each other. So nahnu, so when we die, we will be more independent from each other. Right? So I'm going to go in my grave, you're going in your grave, I'm going to do my own account on the Day of Judgment, you're going to do your own account on the Day of Judgment. So Imam Shafi rahimahullah beautifully contrasts everything in this poem, one side to the other. Yeah, so notice how he starts off, Ainu Rida. He's saying a person who has this Ainu Rida is blinded of the faults. And a person who has the Ainu Sukht begins to expose faults. And a person who has awe of me and respects me, I have awe and respect for him. And a person who does not see anything good for me, I don't see anything good for him. A person who comes close to me, in tadnu minni, then my love will get close to him. And if a person distances themselves deliberately from me, then he'll find me distancing myself from him. And both of us in this life are independent of one another. And in the hereafter as well, we will be more independent in the life to come. So I think this is a really important lesson that Imam Shafi rahimahullah is indicating, which is sometimes we should not attach ourselves too much to some people. Some people, we need to know the limits, right? And sometimes, unfortunately, what happens is a person attaches themselves so much to someone else and the other person does not reciprocate this attachment, this love, this kindness, and takes advantage of another person. If you've experienced this as well, and you have some sort of like really good insight into this as well, please put it in the comments as well. But in reality, this is also something which all of us as Muslims need to be aware of and understanding of how, unfortunately, people out there are just preying on vulnerable people and taking advantage of them. May Allah protect us. Okay, so he says, Ainur Rida. So here, I just want to point out just several little sort of like nice sentences over here. So, Ainur Rida kalilatun an kulli aib. This is a nice sentence which you probably don't hear very often. Kalilatun an kulli aib. And likewise, tubdi masawiya. Yeah, Ainu sukht. So it's feminine as well because the ain is a feminine word. So the eye pulls out, brings up. This is a beautiful image. This is of how an eye is like evil and it's actually the one that is, exhuming faults in a person. لست حيابا لمن لا يهابني. حياب لمن لا يهابني. Okay, that's a nice one as well there. تدنو مني تدنو منك مودتي. You come near me, not only will I come near you, but my love will come near you. تدنو منك مودتي. I think that's a beautiful way of expressing reciprocation of love as well and closeness. And تغاني is also good. إذ مت أشد تغاني. Yeah, I like that sentence as well. طيب, يقول الإمام الشافعي رحمه الله: عين الرضا عن كل عيب كليلة. يعني إذا كان واحد يحب أحد أشد الحب فيقال عنده عين الرضا لهذا الشخص. عين الرضا كليلة يعني ضعيفة لا تحتمل كل عيب. يعني إذا كان واحد يحب شخص آخر فهذا الحب يغلبه حتى لا يرى في شخص الآخر عيب. يعني هذا أيضا مقولة مشهورة يعني منسوب إلى الصحابة رضي الله عنهم بأن يعني في بعض الحب حبك الشيء يعمي ويصم. يعني إذا كان واحد يحب شخص فهذا يعميه عن عيوبه ويصمه يجعله لا يسمع منه شر. لكن عين السخط تبدي المساوية. لكن إذا كان أحد عنده عين السخط يعني إذا كان واحد يكره شخص آخر يسخطه، هذا العين هذا الغضب وهذا السخط هو الشيء الذي يعني يهيج الإنسان حتى يفحص أشد الفحص عن عيوبه تبدي المساوية. ولست بحياب، يقول الإمام الشافعي رحمه الله: لا، أنا لست حياب، أنا لا أخاف ولا أحترم ذلك الشخص الذي لا يهابني، لا يعني يخشاني أو لا يعني يقدرني. ولست أرى للمرء ما لا يرى لي، وأنا لا أرى لأي أحد أي فائدة أي شيء طيب ما لا يرى لي. ما لا يرى يعني ما دام لا يرى لي خير، ما دام لا يرى لي خير فأنا ليس لي وقت لهذا الشخص، ليس لي يعني الفرصة حتى يعني أرحبه. فإن تدنو مني تدنو منك مودتي. إذا كنت تتقرب مني، إذا كنت في حياتي تحبني وتتقرب مني، فأنت الشخص الذي تصفو لك مودتي. أنا سوف يعني أخلص لك مودتي. وإن تنأى عني وإن تبتعد عني، يعني إن تكون بعيدا عني، ستجدني عنك نائية، ستجدني بعيدا عنك أيضا. يعني أنا أعاملك نفس المعاملة التي تعاملني به. كلانا غني عن أخيه حياته، يعني كلانا يعني غير محتاج، كلانا غني، كلانا مستغن عن أخيه طول حياته. يعني أنا لا أحتاج إليك وأنت لا تحتاج إلي في طول الحياة. ونحن إذ متنا أشد تغانيا. ونحن إذا متنا، إذا كنا في تحت الأرض تحت التراب، فأنا لا أحتاج إليك، أنا أكون غني عنك وأنت تكون غني عني، فأشد تغانيا. جزاكم الله خير. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it was a bit long. Please let me know any thoughts that you have, any feedback that you have on this series as well. It really helps me to improve my videos and find ways to kind of, enhance the experience as well. And if any of you guys like the work that I do, and honestly, you guys want me to improve and then the best way to do this would be to support my channel through Patreon. I really appreciate all of you guys, patrons out there who are supporting my channel. Really thank you to all of you guys who have been supporting my channel for several years now. It means so much to me, and it helps me a lot in providing consistent videos as well. So if you guys are interested, you can become a sponsor of the channel, £1 a month, $1 a month, or whatever you want to give. And there's also tier systems as well where you get little perks if you join that system. And that's it, guys. So if you want to make a one-off donation as well, there's also PayPal for one-off donations. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.